Sveiki! Hi! My name is Baiba and I teach Latvian as a foreign language. So today this is the 5th webinar about verbs, and today we will talk about irregular verbs in Latvian language. So there's only 3 verbs to talk about. Let's start. So today the 3 verbs we're talking about is būt, in present past and the future, or to be verb, dot, to give in present past and in the future, then the verb dot with the prefix, and what words we can create with the prefixes and their meanings, and then darbības vārds doties, so it's a reflexive form of the verb dot, and its meaning and also in the conjugation in present past and future form, and then the verb iet, to go in present past and the future, and the verb iet with prefixes. So verb classification, so we talk about this group today: Nekārtnie darbības vārdi or irregular verbs. As you can see, there is only 3 verbs. So būt, to be, dot, to give, un iet, to go or to walk on foot. To be verb, if you've been learning Latvian, you should be very familiar with this one. Yeah, I'll just briefly go through this. Es esmu, tu esi, viņš, viņa, viņi, viņas, tas and šis, ir, mēs esam, jūs esat. Es neesmu, I'm not. Tu neesi, viņš, viņa, viņi, viņas, tas and šis nav, mēs neesam, jūs neesat. So be aware that we don't combine a positive and negative answer. We use either positive, ir, or negative, now. The pronunciation is not nav, but now. Now. But it's written with a V. In the past, if you've been watching the previous video, you already know these endings. Yeah, we just need to remember to be verb in present. In the past, it starts with be. Es biju, tu biji, viņš bija, mēs bijām, jūs bijāt. And the negative forms, just adding ne in the front. And future, as not always, but often, or most of the time with the verbs, we go back to infinitive form plus a new ending. Yeah, the stem from infinitive form, bū, and then new ending, šu. Es būšu, tu būsi, viņš, viņa, viņa, viņas, tas and šis būs, mēs būsim, jūs būsiet. Or the negative forms again, simply with a ne in front. Only here we need to remember this is a positive ir, and this is a negative now. And remember, this verb form is also used for having. Yeah, just this part will be different. It will be in dative. Yeah, viņam, viņai, viņiem, viņām, tam and šim. And then again, ir something or now. Bija or būs. Yeah, the same verb form, but this part will change when we talk about having. With the prefixes, there is no to be verb used. With the prefixes, often the only form I could think of was pabūt, with the prefix pa, which means usually a little bit. It softens the action. It's just making it less. For example, es gribu pabūt viens. So I would like, or I want to be alone for a little bit. So otherwise, I think it should be simple, right? Let's see some examples. Kas tu esi? Kas jūs esat? So this simple question could mean several things. Depends from the context. It could be that it's your name. It could be your profession or nationality, or maybe something even else, yeah? But all the answers to these questions will be in the dictionary form. Kas tu esi? Es esmu Baiba. Es esmu Baiba Freidenfelde. Kas jūs esat? Maybe a profession. Yeah. Es esmu skolotāja. Kas jūs esat? Es esmu latviete. So after to be verb, we don't use accusative but nominative or dictionary form most of the time, right? Sometimes it could be also locative or kur, because the question is kur tu biji, where were you? Kur tu biji, kur jūs bijāt? Es biju Rīgā. I was in Rīgā. Rīgā, yeah, in the past. Or mēs bijām Liepājā. So the answer is in a locative form because we say where, yeah. When it's where or when, it could be also a locative case. Kur, yeah, answer to the question kur. Vai tu esi, vai jūs esat? So all the structures with are you, yeah, will be started like this. Just probably the question is not full. We need to leave probably that dots and add an extra information. Vai tu esi, vai jūs esat? Are you something? Just remember, in Latvian, we use the same word order, you are, and we add a question word vai, which doesn't have any particular meaning, just a question word for yes or no questions. Yes, same here. The most common mistake is the students think that they said this is as a verb already, and then they mention usually the personal pronoun and skip a verb because they think this is the verb. But that's not right. So keep the same word order. Yeah, we don't switch the word order like in English. Are you? Yeah. So vai you are. Kāds tu esi? Kāds jūs esat? The question word kāds, kāda often asks for adjective or description. So you know this question from the basic questions like what's your phone number, what's your address, kāda ir jūsu adrese, kāds ir jūsu telefona numurs. But those would be like in a questionnaire. Yeah, when also we ask for some kind of description. But usually it's adjective. Most of the time we would ask for description. So what are you like? Kāds tu esi? Kāda tu esi for the female person. Kāds jūs esat? Kāda jūs esat? If you talk to one person, yeah, both forms. And if it's plural, then kādi jūs esat? Yeah, the question will change for person. And then the answer will be, es esmu jauka. For example, yeah, or something else. What would you say? Kāds tu būsi? Kāds jūs būsiet? So that's a future form. How would you describe yourself? Like in 10 years maybe or so. Yeah, like kāda tu būsi? Kāda jūs būsiet? And again, adjective will be in a dictionary form or nominative. We won't use it in any other form with to be verb. Darbības vārdu izteiksmes, verb moods. So I want to introduce you shortly, yeah, how the to be verb are used in all the verb moods in Latvian language. There are 5 verb moods. So īstenības izteiksme, indicative, is the form we are learning most of the time. Yeah, this table, this is the īstenības izteiksme. And that's, I'm giving here the infinitive form būt, but that's the whole table. Pavēles izteiksme is imperative. So how do we use imperative? From to be verb. Tu esi, so the same tu esi. And the verb form itself could be an infinitive form. Esi. Esi uzmanīgs, like be careful. Esi uzmanīgs. Esiet, there is some change, yeah? Jūs, if you look back to jūs form, jūs esat. Yeah, jūs esat. Tu esi. Imperative is the same. Esi. Yeah. And for jūs esat, then we could use, instead of a, ia, I-E. And it becomes imperative. Esiet, like be careful. Esiet uzmanīgi. Būsim, let's be. Let us be, yeah? Būsim, let's be uzmanīgi, careful. Būsim uzmanīgi. And for the third person, let it be, lai ir. Yeah, a bit different structure, lai ir. Atstāstījuma izteiksme. I don't think there is such a thing in English language. conjunctive called, but in Latvian it's quite common, even in everyday life. Also, a lot of folk tales have written the whole story in this form. Esot un būšot. It means that we are not kind of taking responsibility of what we are saying. We kind of say, apparently it is like this and like that. Apparently tomorrow will snow again. Of course not. But yeah, that's the English. I would use the word apparently in front of every verb or every sentence. In Latvian, you can change the verb to this form and it becomes, we kind of retell what someone else is saying. Yeah. Vēlējuma izteiksme, conditional mood, and that's the form when in English we would use would and could. Būtu, so it's very easy to use. It's infinitive form plus u for non-reflexive verbs. Any verb, infinitive plus u. Būt plus u, būtu, would be. Tas būtu jauki, that would be nice. Tas būtu jauki. Vajadzības izteiksme, or debitive mood, it's how to express necessity and obligation when we have to do and we must do something. In Latin, I would call them jā verbs. To be verb is used differently with this in this structure. As you can see, it's jā plus infinitive. With other verbs, it's not like that. For the other verbs, we would use jā plus third person present, viņš form. Yeah. Jābrauc, jāiet, jāved, jānes, jālasa, jāskrien, and so on. But that's another story. About the verb moods, probably I will need to do another video. But this is just to be verb, yeah? In all moods. Dot, to give. Another, to give is dodu. Dot, this will be one of those verbs that ask for recipient as well. Yeah, it's not just I give a flower, it's dodu puķi, but we need to know to whom to. That information to whom in Latvian is kam, so it's in dative. No need for prepositions, very simply. I give flower and to whom. Yeah, and let's see in the details in a second. So how do we change this verb? Es dodu, so in present we need a dod. Es dodu, tu dod. Viņš, viņa, viņi, viņas, tas and šis also dod. Mēs dodam, jūs dodat. In the past, it changes to dev, D-E-V. Es devu, tu devi, viņš, viņa, viņa, viņas deva, mēs devām, jūs devāt. Yeah, if you remember to be verb in the past, then we had endings you, ye, ya, yam, yat. Now we have u, I, a, am, at. So endings are the same without j's. But the big change is here in front of the ending. And the future. Again, we go back to infinitive form plus new ending. Es došu, tu dosi, viņš dos, mēs dosim un jūs dosiet. Es dodu ābolu māsai. So I give an apple to whom? To a sister. You see, es and nominative, I'm the one who give. Dodu, and then what? Ko, accusative. Ābolu, and then kam, to whom? Māsai. Jānis dod mums vakariņas. So Jānis gives dinner, vakariņas, and then to whom? Mums. So we, mēs, in dative is mums. Yeah, again, no prepositions, but a correct form. And this is the perfect structure. So that the to whom goes in front of the object. Yeah, indirect object goes in front of the object. Mums, to whom first, and then what. But again, as you know, in Latin language, it's absolutely fine if you can, depends what you like to emphasize more. You put that at the end. Pusdienās mums deva zupu. In this sentence, we don't know who gave us the soup, it's someone, and it's not an important thing who gave us the soup, so it's kind of obvious. But in the structures like this, we use a third person verb, and we don't mention the subject, yeah? Who does this? But the verb will be in a third person, then we know that someone. Yeah? Someone gave us soup for lunch. Tātad mums deva, vai someone gave us, mums, ko? Zupu. And when? Kad? Pusdienās. Pusdienās, for lunch. It's also for, but it's a locative. Yeah? Always for lunch, for dinner. If something we do, there will be a locative form. Vai jūs dosiet man šo grāmatu uz mājām? Will you give me this book home? Vai to home? Vai jūs dosiet? Will you give me, man? What? Ko? Grāmatu? Which book? Šo. Šo goes in agreement with the grāmatu. And then the preposition rule. Uz mājām. Mēs dosim jums patvērumu no lietus. Mēs dosim jums patvērumu no lietus. We will give you a shelter from rain. Tātad mēs dosim patvērumu. We will give you a shelter. And then no lietus, a preposition rule. Yeah? Atbildi uz jautājumiem. Answer my questions now. Vai tu dod naudu bērniem? Vai tu dod naudu bērniem? Do you give money to your children or any other children? Vai jūs dodat naudu ubagiem? Do you give money to the beggars? Not the person who begs money on the street. Kam tu devi dāvanas Ziemassvētkos? The question is come. So the answer will be in the same form as this question word. Come. Kam tu devi dāvanas Ziemassvētkos? To whom you gave presents on Christmas. Vai tu bieži dod ziedus draugiem? Vai tu bieži dod ziedus draugiem? Do you often give flowers to friends? Sorry if I'm too quick. Ejam tālāk. So the verb dod with prefixes can create new words. Or nuances of the word. That one verb, maybe you know, pārdot, to sell, is the same verb dot plus prefix pār. To sell, to give over, like, yeah, pārdot. Tirgu pārdod svaigus augļus un dārzeņus. In the market, someone, we don't know who, he used third person, pārdod, and it's not important who exactly, just in general, for sale, someone sells, fresh fruits and vegetables. Iedot, to give, but this is the finished action, yeah? Dot is the just particular process of giving in that particular moment. And the rest of the time, when iedot will be more common because it's done. Or we want to get it done. Finished action. Jānis vakar man iedeva interesantu grāmatu. Yeah, Jānis yesterday gave me an interesting book. Yeah, it could be that es tev iedošu rīt. I'll give you tomorrow something. But we will use it with the ie. Yeah? Iedod man lūdzu tēju. Give me a tea, please. Yeah, very common to use with the prefix ie. Piedot, completely new meaning. Now, piedot is to forgive. Lūdzu piedod man. O formally, I could say, lūdzu piedodiet man visas kļūdas. Forgive me all the mistakes, especially in English. Uzdot. Again, uzdot would be to give, the translation, but one of the other meanings would be to set. So I use this one that I don't have to use the same meaning. And the situations when you use uzdot is skolotāji vienmēr uzdod jautājumus. Uzdot jautājumus. The structure uzdot jautājumus is very common. To set the question or to ask questions, to give questions. Yeah, that's very common. Uzdot jautājumus. Tagad uzdodiet jautājumus. And now give us a questions, yeah, or ask questions. And we would say uzdot jautājumus. In English, it would be mainly to ask questions. Now ask questions. But we would say, yeah, give questions, kind of thing. Also, this structure uzdot, common with the children. when the teacher gives homework. Also, skolotāja uzdod mājas darbus. Yeah, very common. Aizdot is to lend. Vai tu vari man aizdot 2 eiro, lūdzu? Can you lend me 2 euros, please? Es tev rīt atdošu. Tomorrow I'll give you back. Es tev rīt atdošu. So tomorrow you will get it back, yeah? I'll give you back. So again, just the prefix change the direction, right? Of giving and lending and giving back. Yeah, when it aizdot away and atdot to give back. And the same with these 2 prefixes, it's always with the verbs in the moment, the same idea. To go away, aizbraukt, un atbraukt, to arrive. Aizbraukt, atbraukt, aiziet, attiet. Nē, tā we can't use it with the iet. Tālāk. Nodot. Nodot, to hand over. Mājas darbu vajag nodot rīt. Yeah, the homework we need to hand over tomorrow. Nodot also could use in dry cleaners, for example, if you hand over your shirt for cleaning. Un padot. Lūdzu. Padod lūdzu man sāli. Pass me a salt, please. Padot. So now, please write sentences with each of the verb dot with prefix. Yeah, create your own sentences and let me check if you want to. And tālāk. Doties. The dictionary says doties means to leave for, to head for, to make one's way to. I would usually say to my students is another verb to go without specifying the way how we do go. Because iet is to go by foot, right? And braukt is to go by transportation. And doties doesn't say by foot or by transport. But there you go. So that the verb is the same dot, but reflexive form. For those who've been studying the reflexive verbs before, I would like you to try to create yourself the reflexive verb form, this table, and then check. Can you conjugate the reflexive verb by looking at the non-reflexive form maybe, or you cannot? Yeah, you can try, or I'm sure you can try to conjugate by looking at the non-reflexive form dot. Try to conjugate the reflexive verb doties. What do you change? And then compare to this one. Yeah. But if you don't know, if you can't, so study this table. Es dodos, tu dodies, viņš dodas, mēs dodamies, jūs dodaties. In the past, es devos, tu devies, viņš devās, mēs devāmies un jūs devāties. In the future, es došos, tu dosies, viņš dosies, mēs dosimies un jūs dosieties. Again, it's important to practice the phrases and sentences. Laiks doties. It's time to go. Laiks doties. Kurp dodies? Es dodos uz mājām. Un tu? Uz kurieni dodies? Es dodos uz mājām. Un tu? Tad kurp or uz kurieni means the same. Yeah, we can learn another question word. Both of them means the same. Kurp or uz kurieni. Yeah. And can you answer to this question? Es dodos uz mājām un tu? Imagine I meet you on the street accidentally. What would you say? The next question, uz kurieni dodaties? If I meet not just you, but at least 3 students together. Uz kurieni dodaties? Where are you heading to? Where are you going to? Šoreiz es došos komandējumā uz Stokholmu. So this time I'm heading on a work trip to Stockholm. Uz kurieni jūs dosieties? So where are you heading to? In the future tense. Try to answer. Third verb, iet. Again, a regular verb, it means it changes a lot. And the present is S-A-U to A. Viņš iet, very unusual form, right? Suddenly we have an infinitive form here. Mēs ejam, jūs ejat. For the past, we need to remember it starts with the gā, but endings ju, ja, jām, jāt is the same as with other verbs. Es gāju, tu gāji, viņš gāja, mēs gājām, jūs gājāt. And the future, we go back to infinitive plus new future ending. Es iešu, tu iesi, viņš ies, mēs iesim, un jūs iesiet. Atbildi uz jautājumiem. Kā iet? Kā tev iet? Kā jums iet? So all three questions means the same, yeah? Try to answer to this question. And actually, students often make a mistake. They start to say, man ir. Not man ir. Man iet. Yeah? And then how? Kā gāja darbā? Kā gāja darbā? Very simple question. How did it go at work? Kā gāja darbā? Yeah, don't forget about this form. Not only kā iet present, but also the past form. Kā gāja? Kad iesim uz koncertu? When will we go to the concert? Kad iesim uz koncertu? So iet, the verb iet has this wider meaning of going in general. Yeah, because it's not only by walking, just in general, when do we go to the concert? Without specifying, it's not important yet to know by walk or drive, just in general to go to the concert. Yeah, verb iet also could be used in a sentence like the bus goes only once a week. Autobus iet reizi nedēļā. Of course the bus doesn't walk, right? But in some structures, iet has this wider meaning, or in generalized meaning of going. Vai jūs ejat uz darbu katru dienu? Vai jūs ejat uz darbu katru dienu? Are you going to work every day? Yeah. So again, it could mean that, depends from the context, of course. It could mean that are you working every day in the office or sometimes from home? Or do you literally walk every day to work? Ejam tālāk. Let's move on. Let's go further, literally. Aiziet. Let's go. Aiziet. Let's go. It's verb iet plus prefix aiz. Tātad prefixes are used in front of the verbs. And if we add the prefix at plus verb iet, we create a new verb to depart. Attiet. Attiet. Vilciens attiet pulksten 8:00. Attiet, to depart. Create your sentence with this verb form. And now there is some other prefixes with the verb iet. So if you are a beginner, don't worry if you don't understand or you can't use it or it feels too much. It is a lot and it's hard, but I feel obliged to tell you that there is such a thing as prefixes in Latvian language. Some of the prefixes is soon as better to learn quickly because they, as you can notice, already change the direction of the movement, right? And that's important to understand the context. Also, At least I will mention these verbs that iet with prefixes. And then with the time, you start to recognize, you start to notice these words in the written or text, or you hear them here and there, or you notice in the subtitles somewhere. Start to pay attention and slowly start to remember. And only then start to use them, okay? So some ideas. Uziet, so with the prefix uz, is augšā, up, down, upstairs somewhere, to go up. Yeah, direction up. And then it could be followed by uz ko, on what, or uz kā, to, uz ko would be to what, and uz kā would be on what. Uziet augšā, vai uziet uz skatuves, uz skatuvi, to go to the stage, or uziet uz kā, uziet uz apmales, to go on the pavement. Yeah, that would be uz kā plus genitive form. So uziet would be upwards. Noiet lejā, to go down. Noiet lejā. And usually from as well would be followed. And then if it's from, no, then the preposition rule again. Pāriet, to go across, to go over something. It would be often, yeah, the prefix repeats. So the prefix repeats as a preposition. So its match is the same as prefix. We have the same preposition. You see here, so uziet uz, noiet no, pāriet pār, it could be plus pār, pāriet pār ielu, vai pāriet pāri ielai. Jā, pāriet pār, vai pāriet pāri. Pāriet pār tiltu, pāriet pāri tiltam. With the prefix aiz, we have two forms. Aiziet is to go away. Aizej lūdzu uz veikalu. Go to the shop, please. Aizej. Away. Yeah, from the where you are. Aizej. And also aiziet you can behind, and then it's followed by aiz as well. Aiziet aiz skapja. Yeah, but in this case, suns aiziet aiz kastes. The dog goes behind the box. Iziet un ieiet. To iziet, to exit, to iziet, yeah, to go out from somewhere. Un ieiet kur. A locative, yeah, would be there. Tātad iziet no mājas un ieiet mājā. Yeah, to enter the house, mājā. Bet iziet no mājas. Apiet, again, will be followed by up. Apiet apkārt, to go literally around something. Vai apiet up, again, preposition up plus accusative. Tātad two prepositions, apkārt un up. Apiet apkārt tiltam, apiet apkārt aplim, vai apiet ap apli. Un pieiet is to go close to something. Pieiet klāt. Yeah, come. Pieiet klāt cilvēkam. Vai pieiet pie mājas. Pieiet pie mašīnas. Vai pieiet pie loga. You can ask someone, oh, pieiet pie loga. Go to the window. I'll show you something, yeah? Pieiet pie loga. So, the same way, the prepositions will basically mean the same thing with all the verbs with the movement. Yeah, there is some nuances. Not every single preposition works with every verb. Majority of these verbs will work with all the prepositions. Sorry, prefixes. Yeah, what's mentioned here. Braukt, to drive, to go by transportation. Kāpt, to climb. Vest, to carry something, usually by transportation, or lead a dog. Nest is to carry something in your hands. Lēkt, to jump. Liet, to pour a liquid. Bērt, to pour something dry, like a flower. Griezt, to turn and to cut. So, You can improvise and you can try to use other verbs as well. And the one thing we couldn't use with the verb iet is at. Remember, it was a new word, to depart. But at, you can use with except kāpt, all the other verbs. And it's opposite direction of this. If aiziet is to go away, then at is to come back. Not with iet. Let's say if I take the verb braukt, aizbraukt, to drive away, atbraukt, to arrive. So that's the first information, probably. Yeah, with so many prefixes. And don't get stressed. You can try just to play with the words, play with the sentences. Try to make it something. And slowly you will start to recognize when and how the people use prefixes. And then you will be able to use that too. At the moment, learn doties, the verbs, prefixes with the verb dot. Yeah, they have a new meaning. So it's nice. You learn it as a new word, new verb, and you know how to conjugate it. Iet, then here you need to a little bit understand the movement, yeah, the direction of the movement. So enjoy, have fun, play with the words and prefixes. Take it easy. Labi? Es aizeju. Es dodos. Atā. So that's all for me today. I hope you learned something new and useful. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or write in comments. I'll be happy to see your sentences in the comments. Lai veicas! Veiksmi jums! All the best! Atā!